Because listening is a skill, just like selling is a skill. And by very definition, a skill is learnable and a skill can be enhanced, right? The first kind of listening style is what I would call listening to yourself. What do I mean when I say listening to yourself? Listening to yourself is when, let's say, you're talking to a client, or when you're talking to a friend, or even your wife. Your wife is talking, you are talking, and when your wife is talking, you're actually not listening to her. You're already slightly annoyed, and then you're waiting for your turn to speak, or you're preparing for your response. And this comes from selfishness at a very, very primary level. It also comes from what I may call a blind spot. The second style is much better. This is called listening to content. And you're saying, okay, this is really what he's saying or she's saying. I kind of get where he or she is coming from. That's called listening to content. Obviously, somebody who listens to content is going to be far more effective compared to somebody who only listens to himself, right? There is a third kind of listening style. It is what I call listening to feelings, where a person who listens to feelings doesn't just listen to what you're saying, but is listening to also what you're not saying. And this person is also listening to what you're feeling. What is the real issue here? And when you listen to a person's feelings, one of the first qualities is this: you don't say a word. No matter what the person says, you just quietly absorb every single thing the person is saying, and you keep nodding your head, you keep leaning forward, you keep acknowledging every single thing they're saying without judging. And when you do something like that, something happens from a physiology standpoint, from a biochemistry standpoint. You will find that if they actually hook you guys up with an EEG, you will find that your brain waves get entrained. It's called entrainment. Really, what I'm saying is your brain waves and your energies actually get aligned, even without saying a single word. When you give that person space, when you give that person dignity, you will see healing happen. And healing just comes from the word whole, right? Holy healing, it comes from the word whole. So when you do not judge a person, that person feels full and that person feels whole, right? So that is really the power of listening to feelings. And ultimate in feelings is listening in silence.